like a craft beer through a pint glass. These are the gays of our lives. A show where Lisa and Avery get out their gay decoder rings to decipher the gay alphabet and bridge the gap between the older and younger LGBTQ community and everyone fucking else. And now here are your hosts, Lisa and Avery. Don't blame them.
Hey guys, it's Lisa.
And Avery.
And today we have an amazing guest.
We have the Luke Legende.
Hi!
Who we met because we did a comedy show with you.
Yeah.
That was the first time we'd ever met you.
Yeah.
And he was fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and had far more wardrobe changes than
Right?
we had.
It was like Janet Jackson with the wardrobe changes.
I mean, just a little bit skinnier, but, you know.
That sequin jacket you got even got rave reviews just from you posting a picture.
I know.
I know, and I still took it back because it was too expensive.
Oh my gosh!
I kept that tag on and everything.
Oh, man.
Bargain hunter.
So, you're a gay man, am I correct?
Yes.
Is that how you identify?
Yes, I
Okay.
identify as a gay man.
How
Yeah.
long have you been out?
I've been out since I was 15. Yeah, and I'm 27 now. So,
Okay.
officially 12 years.
Alright, so that was back in early 2000s.
We'll say that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was like mid-2000. Brittany was going through her breakdown.
Okay.
Oh shoot!
That's great. Did that affect you?
It did. It inspired me to go through my own breakdown.
Oh, yeah. At 15.
At 15, yeah. I went through a breakdown a lot sooner than that, but it was like time for my comeback
there
breakdown.
we go.
So,
Okay.
yeah, she inspired that.
So, did you feel like you were maybe a little different than some of your other friends growing up? Or when did you realize something was different about you?
Oh, yeah, definitely different, but not because I was gay, but because I hope this doesn't sound arrogant, but I feel like I was more intelligent than kids my age, because I was always the one that was friends with the teacher. I was the one that was sitting at the teacher's table at lunch and reading books under a tree at recess, and I was that kid. But I knew I was gay at like 5 years old. Yeah, in kindergarten, I would totally be crushing on boys and be dreaming. You know, when I was like 4 years old is when Titanic came out, and so I would be like, Jack, I'm flying. I was 5 and I totally knew. And my family totally knew. My dad was like, I was like, Dad, I'm gay. And my dad was like, I know, I need to finish changing your diaper. Stop squirming. So, yeah, it was totally like not an issue. But yeah, I knew super early.
So your parents were...
I have the most supportive, wonderful, liberal parents ever. My parents have been to every single one of my shows.
Oh yeah, we met your mom.
Yeah, my mom and my dad were both at the show, yeah, and they've been to every single one of my shows. They're the best parents anyone could have ever asked for. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. I really do.
That's great, because a lot of young gays, and I was like you, a lot of young gay kids coming out don't have such support with their parents.
Right.
So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Indianapolis?
I did. I grew up in Indy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, like, right here, like, by the studio. I grew up at 82nd and Hague is where I grew up.
So you went to Lawrence Central?
No, Lawrence North.
Lawrence North.
Yeah.
Okay. I always get those confused around here.
Yeah.
Which one's which?
So we're about the same age, and I don't know about the atmosphere at Lawrence North, but like coming out at 15 at Carmel wasn't exactly like an easy.
I didn't stay at Lawrence North.
Okay.
Like I said, I was a different kid. I was bullied a lot. So I actually went to private school, and then I got kicked out of private school.
For?
Honestly, because they just didn't like new kids. I went to this hole-in-the-wall private school, and they didn't like outsiders, and they were just like, don't come back next year. And we were like, okay, we won't. And I didn't want to go back into the school system where I was having so many problems, so I just finished out high school online. And that was great because, you know, like I said, I felt more advanced, so at 16 years old, I was able to have a job, have friends that were more on my levels. They were in college. I could go around, do my own thing, while as kids my age were still in school and having to be in class, you know.
So how old were you when you finished then? High school.
I was probably between 16 and 17 is when
So
I
you finished it early.
Oh yeah, I finished everything up like super fast. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that you could do college classes online.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't look at me like that. You think we didn't have online when I went to
I
high
was
school?
gonna say,
So be
they
quiet.
didn't even have dial-up when you were in high school. Didn't they still use
He's not
typewriters?
He's not totally wrong, but I had a word processor. I remember that.
On your stone tablet?
Shut
No,
up.
I'm just kidding.
Not that old.
Do you know how to change the ink in a typewriter? I bet you do.
Were you excited when the train was invented?
Oh my god, I bet you were.
Oh, here we go.
I bet
It's-
California was really interesting the first time when they were digging for gold.
Color television must have blew your mind.
I didn't know it was a pick on Susan.
I
You both. Bitches. Both of you are bitches.
I don't usually have someone who just keeps
Oh,
going.
I know. This is not okay.
Did that be scare you at first?
We're gonna delete this episode here
It's time
soon.
to wrap up.
Oh
Thank you for
my
coming.
god, that was great. Thank you so much,
You're
Luke.
welcome. Thank you.
Asshole.
So, what got you around to entertaining? Because I don't want to just call you a comedian because you do a lot more
Oh,
than
God,
that
yeah.
on stage.
Well, actually, when I was younger, I actually started with music. I was really into music, and I released some music when I was younger, and I was doing that whole thing. I released a book, and I used to be a whole lot skinnier than this. Like, a whole lot skinnier, like half this size. And so I used to do modeling. And from the modeling company, the same management team started up a production business, and they actually got signed to start filming a Netflix show.
Oh.
And when we were doing the Netflix show, it got pulled. It didn't receive enough funding in time. But a lot of shows, that happens to. You start filming, and you film, and you film, and you film, and you don't reach enough funding, and it just goes nowhere. And so we filmed for like a year and a half. And when you're on set filming all day long, it's literally standing around for 10 hours and then like 5 minutes of shooting.
Three
And
different
so
ways.
you just stand there all day. So I was the on set like entertainment. Like we'd be just sitting around bored, and I'd be like telling jokes and making people laugh. And
Just
so
being you.
yeah, and so when the show ended, my manager was like, we have to get you up on stage. And so the places that we filmed the show, they were like, they had a bar, and they were like, yeah, just come up and have a show. And I already had a following, you know, from my music, from my book, from my online comedy stuff. And I was like, hey, everybody come see me do stand-up. And from there, it just kind of took off, and I started doing shows. So
How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing stand-up for 3 years now. So
About the same time as me.
yeah.
And you.
Actually, I just celebrated my 2-year anniversary.
Was that only 2 years? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were about the same time as me.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years in July, because my first show was literally a month after Pulse. So it
Oh,
was
my gosh.
2016. And so, yeah, that was really hard. And so the way I got people to come out to my first show is by making a benefit show for
That's
Pulse. And, you know, having all the donations and money and tickets go straight to Pulse.
Where'd you do that one at?
At Joker's.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't even know about that.
Yeah. It was on a Wednesday night. So, yeah, I was able to get like 60 people to come out to a bar on a Wednesday night in the middle of July.
That's impressive. I'll tell you what, between your followers and ours, we sold that thing out.
Yeah, we sold it
There was
out.
a standing room
Yeah.
only in that place.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
To a point where like they were telling us not to like leave the green room because
Yeah.
like there was too much like stuff going on up front.
There
And then
was,
of course
yeah.
we're all like peeking through the window like,
I
is my
know.
dad here yet? Like
I see my mom. Yeah. Yeah, it was super cool.
That was a lot of fun. So, your first time on stage was headlining. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was an
That
hour.
was
It was an hour and 10-minute set. My first time on stage.
What is yours out to now? Because I mean, I feel like you were up there for about as long.
Well,
My-
but you split it up.
My longest that I've ever had was the second show I did, and that was an hour and a half. And that was apparently a little long for some people, but it's down now to about an hour. It's between 45 minutes and an
Your
hour.
set in particular?
Yeah.
So, now, what was I saying? The show that we did,
Yeah.
you break up your sets.
That was the first time we've done that format.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
that was the first time we've ever done that format. I had been doing shows there, and they said, we want to harness the power of your following and the following of other people and create this massive show where you can get people to come out and you can all feed off of each other. And because, you know, the people that came out for you got to see me, the people who came out for me got to see you, and we can all gain more followers from that. And they said, we think everyone can benefit from this.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
And so, but they were like, but since you're the headliner, we want it to for you to set it up however you want, and I thought it would be beneficial for me to break it up into segments by doing mini sets
I like the
in
way you did
between.
that.
Yeah, so that way it was kind of like almost like a variety show of being a host, of hosting a whole bunch of other people rather than just kind of focusing on myself and being like coming out at the end like I'm the big entertainment, here I am. I really wanted to be like, no, I'm here for all of us, introducing this person, and here's this person.
Well, it was your show, but it was still
Like,
still
you-
focused around you. But I mean, it was. I really liked the format that you did.
Well,
I
it really
enjoyed
allows
it.
you to set the tone, like, for how you want your show, and like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy for us to even bounce off that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I really wanted to be able to share the stage, so to speak. Like, I want people to understand, like, yeah, maybe the Luke Legend show, but these people are here and they're very talented. Look at them, la la la, you know. Because, you know, when people go on, like, for instance, they go on Ellen, it's obviously the Ellen show, but Ellen's not like, this is all about me, this is my show, blah, blah, how are you today, you know, Terrence Howard, blah. You know, it's literally, she's like, this is the person that you should be focusing on. And so that's really where I wanted to kind of angle that at. You know what I mean?
I really liked the way you did it, for
Oh,
sure.
thank you.
It was. Hopefully, we get to do another.
Yeah,
one of those
absolutely.
soon.
I
We
would
have
love
to
to.
mention Diane Hong because
Oh.
she
Oh,
had
yeah,
an amazing
Diana,
set that
yeah.
night.
She,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's just a very positive person in general, like off and off stage,
Yeah.
on and off stage. So.
Yeah, Diana Hong is this super funny comedian from California, and they had actually flown her out for a show the night before, and she just happens to be lesbian, and they were like, we have this show that's centered around LGBT topics the next night, would you like to be a part of it? And they sent me a video clip of her, and I was just dying laughing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I want her in the show. So, yeah.
No, she was
Yeah, she
super,
was- yeah,
she was cool
she
to
was
meet and
funny.
hang out
Yeah,
with,
we went out afterwards too. We all hung out afterwards
Yeah.
and everything, and she's. I talk to her all the time on Facebook and everything.
Yeah,
So she's awesome.
She's
too.
super cool chick.
I don't know if we could have gotten 4 people that mesh as well
It
as
was-
we
Oh
did.
yeah,
It
like
was
right the
perfect.
second,
Perfect.
like everybody
It
entered
was
the green
perfect.
room, like we were all getting along. And
Yeah.
back there wasn't because I used
Yeah.
to be like I'm the awkward, quiet one, and not always, but in a green room, because I feel like most people have more credentials than I, and it's easy to like feel like you're like, you know, I'm like again, it was 2 years versus your guys' collective like probably like 15 or something. I don't know. I'm not doing math well right now.
Never seen you quiet, though.
9. We're gonna say
9,
collective 9
yeah.
years.
It's
But
about
you know what I
9.
mean? So but that's what I'm saying. So like for me, who's like been at 2 years, I'm like, wow, this is like a fun place for me to be. But then you guys were included. It was nice. I was saying it was a good green room. I had good energy, and
Well,
I feel silly for
I
bringing it up.
think what works so well about our show is I felt like everyone was mutually respectful of each other,
Oh, yeah.
and we all felt like we were on even ground, and
Right.
we're all the same people. So it kind of felt very like
It wasn't like, oh,
Nobody
you're
was
just a
like, I'm better than
headliner, You're a
you.
headliner.
Yeah.
You're a feature. You're the.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was all like you're a comedian, I'm a
Yeah.
comedian, you're a comedian.
Right.
That was it.
Here's what crazy happened
Yeah.
to me in showbiz the other day. Pretty much, like
Which,
you know what I mean.
which is so neat because that show, even though it was a gay show, it had diversity out the
Oh,
wazoo.
Oh, absolutely,
The
absolutely.
the straight
The straight
Right,
guy.
right.
the cis, not straight, the
It's
cis.
one 90s show.
Excuse me, right? The cisgender
Yeah.
white gay male,
Yeah.
the cisgender white lesbian, and then we had Diana Hong, who is Asian, and then
Asian.
we have a white trans man.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
think the diversity was awesome too
Yeah.
about that show.
I absolutely love that. I thought
So.
that was great.
Yeah, no, and really we all have such different tones in our comedy too. That was really
For
cool.
sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Sure.
I felt like each of us have our own different kind of signature that we add.
Yeah.
We have our own style, and I think that's another reason it worked perfectly because nobody really clashed with each other as far as like, oh, that's kind of what I'm doing, so that bitch is like stealing my act. No, it was all like we had something for everybody. It was
Yeah.
like a really wonderful buffet of gay things. It was delicious.
It was. It
was
was. It was
delicious.
fun. Now, how often do you do shows now?
I do shows every couple months. It's usually, whenever I get booked or when a bar contacts me, because I have so many projects going on, I don't actively go out and seek, like, book me today, book me this week, I'm playing this week and this week and this week. And I also have a small but loyal following, and I'm not going to be able to drag them out every single week
Yeah.
to see me. And so I'm like, I'll call you in a few months for another show.
Do you do open mics ever?
No, I don't.
So you just got up on stage, did it, and then next show you get up on stage, you do it, and the next show you get up.
Yeah. I've had to come up with new material every single time. Because like I said, my following usually comes back. And so when I know that the same people are coming to my show, I can't tell the same jokes over and over. So each time I've had to come up with a whole new hour-long set of brand new material.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's definitely challenging.
I'm sure it's challenging without open mics, just because like, really that's a workout room. At the
Yeah,
end of the
that's
day,
why.
you know
That's
what
why I
mean?
was wondering
Yeah.
because you're seeing. I do open mics, but I'm more like you when it comes to it. Like you're just funny person,
Yeah.
and a lot of that stuff is probably stuff that's come out of your mouth.
Well, I mean, it helps that I'm funny looking, so.
Jeez.
Stop.
Not even close.
This is
So.
the guy with the sequin jacket.
Right.
I was just trying to be like simple and understated. I just wanted something
What
like.
about sequin
simple.
jacket was simple and understated?
Well, you know, like.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, because I think my wardrobe is simple and understated, and none of it has sequins.
I don't have sequins either.
I was just going for something, you know.
Oh,
like
I was talking about your
casual.
show. This is great. I love
Yeah.
this.
I was just going for, you know, like going to the Kmart, you know.
The
something.
Oh, the Kmart.
You know.
So
Oh,
everyone can
and
see
the-
it.
Blue
Kmart.
blue light special.
The-
Blue light
Kmart. So, do you plan on just continuing entertaining?
As long as I possibly can.
Is that
you know?
what you love to do?
I love it with a passion. I feel like there's nothing I love more than being able to go in front of a room of people and be able to connect with them and be able to entertain them, inspire them, change their day. One of my major headlining shows that I had was literally 3 days after the election. And so everyone was really, really upset. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard show. It was it was a tough crowd.
Yeah.
Because I had literally people texting me the day of telling me, I'm sorry I'm not coming to your show. I'm still too upset about the election and I just don't want to leave the house. It was
Wow.
that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so it was a tough crowd. And so for me, when people come to my show, I like to create a world that they can escape to. Because I feel like that's why people go to the movies. That's why people read a book or watch TV. Because they want to escape to a world for a little while and forget about the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when people come to my show, I want them to not have to worry about their bills or worry about their relationships. I want them to just sit down and just chill out and relax for a while. And I just love doing that. I just love being with people and doing that.
Makes sense. That's kind of what I think all of us that do this
Yeah.
stand-up and stuff like that do. But
Yeah,
so, do you have a boyfriend?
I do.
You do?
I do have a boyfriend.
Ah.
Yes.
How long have you guys been dating?
Well, we've been dating for like 8-9 months, but we made it official about 7 months ago. So
That's me and Allie, too.
Yeah.
yeah, you know, you have to go through that official
Mhm.
thing. I mean, because technically,
was it Facebook official? Is that what you meant by
yeah,
official
Facebook,
thing?
yeah.
No,
Face-
but then, like,
yeah.
I don't know about yours, but then you have to ask all of a sudden.
Well,
Like-
yeah. Well, like we had to have the talk,
Mhm.
you know, because, you know, for me, I feel like communication is so important, and I've been through enough in my life that I have to stay in a relationship. So just so it's clear, we're not doing other people, right? You
Yeah,
know,
right.
because I've learned the hard way many times that if you don't say that, people are like, "What? You never said I couldn't put my dick in somebody else?
Yeah.
What do you mean?" And so, yeah, we made it official. But we both know that when we started dating, like, we didn't talk to anyone else. We didn't do anything with anyone else. But we made it official, you know, about 7 months ago. So,
Well, congratulations.
thanks.
Well, and he was at the show.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
So
right.
I'm just assuming he goes to then like all of your
He's been
stuff.
to all my shows so far
Yeah.
since we've been together.
Aw.
So, yeah.
This-
He's very supportive. He says he always wants to support my dreams. So, I think that's a good quality
That's
to
a-
have in a
yeah.
boyfriend.
That's the quality to have
That's
a boyfriend.
the quality to have a boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do
So,
you
go ahead.
do you then like warm up? Like, I mean, I saw you do a whole musical number again on condoms. I'm assuming like you did that in front of him at least once.
No.
He never saw it before the
No,
show.
here's the thing. The people around me, like my best friend, my boyfriend, they don't want me to tell them my jokes. Because when they come to my show, they want to genuinely be surprised or laugh or be happy.
Huh.
So I will literally be like, "Can I bounce some off you?" And they'll be like, "No, I don't want to hear it." they won't let me bounce it off them because they just want to be entertained and surprised because they know that at the end of the day I can come up with stuff. So the person that I actually run my jokes off of is my mom.
Love.
So yeah, so I would literally sit there and do my show for my mom in our living room. So yeah.
I'm just imagining the sequin jacket and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did a dress rehearsal for that show with my mom, and I did the costume changes and everything.
That's awesome.
I bet that just completes her whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I talk about my parents on my act.
Oh yeah.
And so my parents are they totally love it. They're totally cool with it, and because they know at the end of the day it's all for jokes. They know how appreciative I am and how much I love them, and so it's great to have parents who are like, yeah, you can run jokes by me.
I'll just say, here, go get your stuff on, honey.
Yeah.
Right. Well, she actually sold your merch. She was your merchandise person.
Yeah,
She's pretty amazing. She was selling your merchandise for you.
Yes, she sells my books and my DVDs.
Well, and I didn't even realize it was her when I came in the door first time, and I hadn't seen the new showroom. So I didn't realize, who I was talking to. I'm like, this is going to be so great for a show. She's like, I think Luke just loves it here. And so I was like, she must be a really big fan. You know what I mean?
She is the big fan.
She's the biggest.
She is the biggest. She's my number one fan.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you get so much support and everything from your parents because it's...
I know it's rare. I know it is rare.
It is, unfortunately. And I was like you, but every guest that comes on almost is, they've thought of suicide because they weren't able to be who they were and, they didn't have the support. And it's very rare to hear that, which is, it's awesome. Unfortunately, it's getting better like that, though. I think there's more parents coming around nowadays than there were back, even further back.
Right.
Like when I came out. But, that's so refreshing to hear that, you absolutely had it easier, that it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
And it's nice to hear because you're younger.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I feel guilty because I had it so easy. Because I know, because I grew up going to gay youth group. I went to OIG. And my mom took me when I was 15, right after I came out. And so I went before I could even drive. And I would hear all the stories of people getting kicked out and parents who could disown their children, and I would feel really bad because I'd be like, my dad literally looked at me across the table and was like, yeah, God made you that way and he loves you and I love you and that's not going to change anything. And that was it. That was the conversation. And so I felt bad because all these people were going through these hard times, and I was like, look at me with my parents who are like, I bought you a gay flag. It was kind of weird almost, to feel guilty about being happy about it.
And I get that because I'm the same way, because I didn't really have that many problems. Mom didn't totally agree with it at first, but she came around and she would drive me to the bar before I really had a car, per se.
My mom drove me to OIG.
Yeah, so not before I had a car because I was old enough to drive. And she took me to the bar. But she drove us to the bar because we were drinking that night, I think, and dropped us off even.
Yeah.
She was cool about it. But,
yeah.
And I did feel guilty. Now, she was, all the gay parents, were your parents like this? All the gay kids and all the kids in the neighborhood, they were their parents also.
My mom is definitely super welcoming of, whoever's in our house is, she's there to, she's a great hostess no matter who's there.
Yeah.
But all my friends absolutely adore my mom and love my mom. My best friend calls my mom Mom. So, she's the mom.
That's what I had a feeling.
She's the mom.
That's how my mom was,
And
sure.
everyone, she's everything that I can only hope to try to be in life.
I saw something that Pride is having moms to hug gay kids or something.
Yeah.
Your mom would be great for that.
Yeah, there's a church where moms are going at Pride and they're offering free hugs for kids who don't have parents.
That's what made me think of that, saying that, because I saw that, I think it was just last night, that I saw that and I thought, that's awesome.
And, even my dad is, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Do it.
My dad. You're like, do it. Let's see tears. I want to see tears. No.
You smile all the time. I don't believe it.
No, my dad is so supportive. Back when Trump first got elected, and they had that rally in D.C. for the Pride Rally, for the march, the National Gay Rights March. I was planning to go, and my dad called me and was like, "Well, who are you going with?" And I was like, "I was just going to go by myself and get an Airbnb." He was like, "Oh, that's not necessary. I'll go with you and I'll drive." And so he spent his gas, he drove, he paid for the food, he paid for half the hotel room, like, and he went with me and he literally marched with me in the parade in DC, like, super supportive.
That's
so, like,
awesome.
Those are the parents that I have. So that's why, like I said, sometimes I feel guilty because, like,
I
I'm
get it.
so lucky.
Yeah.
I am so lucky.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, because us being about the same age, like I remember the environment and like what you see going on around you, and I mean, I shoved myself way in the closet when I saw everything happening around me, and so if anything, like you're so lucky you have parents that were just like all about it when you were.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you like how cool that is.
After you came out, was it just always like, boom, hey Kool-Aid, I'm here, I'm gay? I
went through a phase where I was a lot more flamboyant because I guess, for one, I believed that's how you had to be, and two, nobody was stopping me. Because, like, I had so many people that were, obviously, as you can tell, I have so many people in my life that are very, we'll accept you as you are.
Be you.
So, be you. So, if they're like, well, if that's how you want to act, then cool. So, I definitely went through this phase where I was a little much. But I definitely, got some friends who were good sounding boards who were like, hey, you should tone it down. And definitely calm down over the years. But it definitely helped me. And I take those things and I use those obviously on stage.
Yeah.
Because on stage, I'm a lot.
Yeah.
And that's, it's my shtick, it's my character.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but it's good in doses.
Oh yeah. Well, and I just even remember thinking that after the green room, because I'm like, he was so much calmer like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
not how that was going.
Yeah. It's definitely. I don't know if I would say it's a character. It's definitely an embellishment of myself on stage. Because I know that, for one, it gets laughs, and I know it's entertaining, and like I said, it's an escape.
Yeah.
And so for people to come and enjoy this embellishment, this exclamation point, I think is better than somebody just standing on stage and telling jokes. And I think that's what made our show so wonderful, is I think in our own unique ways, we're all exclamation points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what made our show so great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do in your free time?
I do a lot of things. So I have a book. I wrote a book.
Yeah, what's the book about?
It's called Sex in the Suburbs, Memoirs of a Gay Son instead of a geisha. And it was when I wrote it when I was like 19 years old. I was going through my Carrie Bradshaw phase, and I was like, I have to do the gay version of Carrie Bradshaw. And I was so focused on finding love that I just serial dated the hell out of life and just like dated guy after guy after guy. And it just turned into all these crazy, crazy stories that I had. I had so many crazy stories. And so I decided to write a book. And so I wrote the book and I published it when I was 21 years old. And so I've been peddling that, but I'm working on a new book now. Because sometimes I look at my old book and I read it, and sometimes I cringe at certain things. Like, I can't believe I wrote that. That is so embarrassing. But I was a kid when I wrote it, essentially. But I am writing a new book. It's called 10 Steps to Being Fabulous. And it's kind of like a self-help memoir-ish type of book that's very comedic. Because I went through a lot of dark, hard trauma in my early 20s, with a lot of dark stuff. I was a victim of domestic violence. And I went through a lot of, and then I developed PTSD after I had a mild heart attack. So my life went like, from being where I was, being a 21-year-old who had published a book and was on top of the world, to literally being in this black hole. And I had to figure out how to climb out of that black hole. And learning and growing from that, I felt maybe other people can learn from me coming out of that. And so I felt like maybe if I take these experiences and write about them in a funny way and help people, they know that they can crawl to their black holes. And so that's why I'm writing the new book, is to kind of help people if they don't have a friend to help them through their dark times. I'll be their friend to help them through their dark times.
Okay, mild heart attack?
Yeah, okay, so this is a crazy story, true story. I bought this, like I said, I used to be a lot skinnier, and I was like super obsessed with fitness, and I bought this over-the-counter, non-FDA approved pre-workout mix on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me, and apparently after the fact, after the whole ordeal, we learned it had like so much caffeine in it. It was the equivalent of like 2 liters of Coke in like one serving. And I'd never done anything like that before. I'd never taken anything, and I took a full one serving on an empty stomach. Yeah, and I started driving, and like the side of my arm just started going numb, and I was like, something's really, 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 really wrong. And like it was like, and so I went to the hospital. They hooked me up to all these machines. They're like, we don't know. And I went to a specialist. They were like, you had a mild heart attack. But I got in the car and I started driving after that, and I started developing these really bad panic attacks. And it was PTSD from having the heart attack. Mm-hmm. And so I couldn't get in the car without starting to have a true panic attack. And so they put me on all these medications and tranquilizers that made me gain a whole bunch of weight. They made me super tired, like changed my world. And that was like hell on earth. Mm-hmm. And so like I said, I went through these like really bad, instances that I went from being this 21-year-old who had the whole world in front of him and being a published author and blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I was this victim of domestic violence. I was, living with PTSD. I was in this black hole. I would never leave the house. Like it was this whole world that I had to climb out of to get to where I am now. And I feel like I need to tell that story so that other people who may be in their black hole can help maybe climb out of their black hole.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
And you'd be so good for that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm writing the new book.
You're already all about like taking people out of that experience and their voice.
And bubbly and and happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you look truly happy.
I'm happy now. I didn't.
But I mean, you look truly happy. So
that's
showing
happy.
them, hey, you may be here, but you can be here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how I am too.
I definitely refer to it as the dark period of my life. It was the winter of my life.
Oh.
And it was really hard, but being able to be here now and look back and say that I made it through all of that, it really motivates me to want to help other people through that, because I know that I had such a huge support system around me. Like I had my mom and my dad, I had my best friend. Other people, as you know, don't have that. Some people are truly just alone. Yeah. And I don't want them to, you can be alone and not be lonely. And I feel like if somebody doesn't have somebody else, I can be that person. Just pick up my book and read it and I'll be there for you. So.
That's pretty cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And thank you for coming on and talking to us. We
Absolutely.
greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You were so fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's truly one of my favorite shows I've done. Again,
by far.
2 years versus 3.
Oh,
I get it, but I truly one of the most fun shows I've been a part of. So.
It was probably the best show, and it was because of the energy. It's probably my best set because of the energy of all of us together.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, I mean, even like honestly, I can't even say it was one of my best sets. I just had so much fun with that room.
Oh, it was fun.
Like I mean, truly, and then just like I feel like we all had a very positive like, we're just here to be here for you, and I really think that's from you setting a tone like that. Like, truly, I think you do exactly what you do. You did what you set out in entertainment to do. There, that's full sentence.
Yeah. No, you're saying, yeah. I want people to be able to come to my shows or read my book or listen to my music or do whatever they do and be able to escape and feel inspired and to be happy.
Well, thank you. You make us happy for being here.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate you coming in and talking to us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Anything else?
No. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can also find Luke Legende on all of those.
Yes.
And then we're also on YouTube. And then if you don't like watching videos as much as we like making videos, you can also find us on Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud.
And our website is laughs.life. So if you want to contact us, there's a contact me page. If you want to be on the show, let us know.
Yes.
This has been Gaze of Our Lives. Make sure to check out the Gaze online at www.laughs.life. And since Lisa and Avery don't have a lot of money, this episode has been brought to you by
Higher Life CBD Dispensary for all your CBD needs. Located downtown Indianapolis at 901 North Pennsylvania Street. And make sure you tell them the gays sent you.